Hello again. In this lesson, we'll focus on the different syllable types and consonant clusters of the English language. The first thing we need to say about the shape of English words is that the phonological system of the English language includes both open syllables, that means consonant vowel, but also some consonant clusters, or groups of consonants that appear together. Now, some clusters are relatively easy for Mexican learners because they are very similar to the ones that we have in Spanish. And some examples are in flat, and fresh, and press, and plan, and dragon. Now we have here some clusters, full, and fur, and per, and pull, and der. And there are some similar ones in Spanish, such as flaco, and fresa, and prensa, and plan, and dragon. So we can see with these kind of clusters, there are no problems because they are relatively easy for the learners to pronounce. Let us now look at the syllable types that exist in English language. First of all, we have a pattern of consonant plus vowel, such as C. We have another pattern of consonant, vowel, and consonant, such as in the word sit. And then we have a cluster of two consonants, one vowel and another consonant, such as in the word spit. Then we have a pattern of two clusters with a vowel in the middle, such as the word spits. And finally, there is another pattern in which we have a cluster with three consonants, one vowel, and two consonants in the end, as in the word sprint. We will now focus on consonant clusters that are particularly difficult for Spanish speakers, and we will begin with initial consonant clusters. It is important to mention that there are no consonant clusters in Spanish that begin with the sound s, and therefore these are particularly difficult. First of all, we have the cluster sp, as in Spanish, special, spoon, spirit, spit, and spelling. And then the cluster with sn, such as in snow, sneeze, sniff, sniper, sneer, and snot. And finally, the cluster st, where we have student, stadium, station, star, stereo, and stamina. There are some other initial consonant clusters that begin with the sound s, and what we have to say is that when Spanish speakers try to pronounce these clusters, they will involuntarily add a sound e at the beginning, and so we have words such as school, and sky, and skate, and scarce, and scary, and skeleton that will be difficult. We have also the cluster sm, as in smell, smile, smear, smut, smoke, and small. And finally, the cluster with some other combinations such as slow, and spring, and sphere, and screw, and switch, and strange. Let us now focus on the final consonant clusters. Most of these will be difficult for Spanish-speaking learners because in Spanish there are no consonant clusters at the end, except for those from words that have a foreign origin or that come from native languages such as Nahuatl. So some difficult clusters are as follows: sand, bump, triumph, pants, month, and orange. We also have others such as help, and dog, and film, and harp, and old, and holds. There are also some other consonant clusters that are difficult, such as those in lives, and walked, and ringing, and Charles, and world, and warmth. Finally, learners will have problems with the final consonant clusters that include nasal sounds because we will tend to pronounce them as if they were the same sound. Okay? So, what we need to practice is to make the difference between and n and ng. For example, sim and ram and ham. versus sin and ran and pen and son. But then we have sing and rang and hang and peng and sung. So when we pronounce them, the difference between sim and sin and sing will be clear, or should be clear, in our speech. Now, a final piece of advice is that if we want to pronounce the consonant clusters correctly, we need to practice and repeat, and a very useful way to do this is by means of tongue twisters. Here are some examples. If a dog chews shoes, whose shoes does it choose? Here's another one. You know New York, you need New York, you know you need unique New York. Another one will be, I saw a kitten eating chicken in the kitchen. Another one will be, I scream, you scream, we all scream for ice cream. And this one, which is a little longer, if two witches watch two watches, which witch will watch which watch? And finally, scary sticky skeletons, scary sticky skeletons, scary sticky skeletons. Okay, so try to practice with these tongue twisters, and you may want to find some of your own and then just practice a lot. So this lesson covered some important syllable types and consonant clusters in the English language. I hope the video was useful, and I will be seeing you in our next lesson. Take care.